I remember the day she died, me and my sisters were about to go to school, and my dad phoned us. He'd been at the hospital all night. He told us to come to the hospital. What happened was my dad had...
What's the story, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Pete here from Thairish Times. So sometimes when you're doing an interview, you have all the questions laid out. You have the title in your head. You know where you're going to take the interview. And then sometimes as you're interviewing, another topic emerges that you just disregard all your other stuff and you go down this kind of avenue and see where it takes you, off the cuff, unplanned. And that's what happened in this interview with my guest today. His name is Pat. A lot of you will know him from his YouTube channel, Bangkok Pat. He's a legend in the Thailand YouTube niche. He makes fabulous historical content in and around Bangkok. He's a really great guy as well. I've interviewed him numerous times on the channel. So in this video, we're going to talk about his life in England. So he's born in England, his mother is Thai, and we're going to talk about his life in England growing up, and then a lot of focus is going to be on his mother as well, because tragically Pat's mother died when he was very, very young in the UK, and she was in the UK in the early 70s, which is a totally different place then than it is now. I mean, from a political standpoint, if you think of what was going on with the IRA in Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, all that kind of stuff was going on. There was bombings in London at the time. The older generation back in the 70s had been through the Second World War. And here was this Thai woman in the 70s in England. What was that like for her? He's going to talk about. He's going to talk about the tragic loss of his mother, how he felt, what was the impact, how did it impact his father? So, like, it's totally off the cuff, this interview. You see at the very start, we just roll the camera and we just go with it. So I hope you enjoy it, folks. Let's get straight into the video. Cheers. Oh, and also the video was shot, if you're interested in the location, it's the Atlanta Hotel, Sukhumvit Site 2. Very, very old historical hotel. Fabulous architecture. If you're in the area, go check it out. All right, let's get into the video. Cheers. Let's get into questions about your life. I'll cut this part out. We could go in just while we have the camera rolling. You still like it over here?
Oh no, you could. Yeah, you could leave it if you want.
Yeah, let's just go with it and see where it goes. Yeah. Pat, how many years have you been in Bangkok now?
If you put the two stints I've had living here together, it would be 7 years. This time has been 8 years. No, yeah, 8.5 years. So over 15 years. But the first time I moved here was over 20 years ago.
You still happy here, living in Thailand, living in Bangkok?
Yeah, I think because I'm a bit more open to both cultures, being half Thai, I don't see as much as what people moan about. It's like, I see a lot of people get expats here, get a bit jaded, fed up of certain things. The kind of thing they complain about doesn't really affect me in the same way.
When was the last time you were back in the UK?
Beginning of 2019.
Wow, it's nearly, 6 years? Do you have any plans to go back?
Yeah, I do. Maybe next year. Probably next year I'll see my dad and my sister. But we haven't been... me and my dad were close when I was living in Cornwall last time. He was in the next town. So it'd be nice to see him. My sisters, yeah, of course.
How old is your dad?
79.
Okay, so he's getting on a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the autumn of his life, but yeah, he's still happy. He's still... I'm trying to sort of talk to him and say, maybe spend your last years here.
Would he come out here?
I think he would if it was easy and he didn't have to make too much effort to do it. I think he could. So that'd be something I might look into.
Did he meet your mum out here?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, was he?
No,
70s?
late 60s.
Late 60s, oh sorry. See, I was giving you a compliment there. It's the 80s, Pat. You're only 38, 39.
It was 82. 82. No, yes, 70,
Late 60s.
70, 1969, 70. I've seen photos of my dad on a motorbike with his big long collars and paisley sort of patterned shirt, and he was younger than I am.
And when did your mum go to the UK?
1973.
That was a different world then. I mean, there was probably very few Thai women in the UK back then.
There was a handful. There was a little sort of group that used to meet up at a house in Wimbledon on Cologne Road. And I remember we went 1 month, and Thais living in London would socialise there. I'm sure there was other places, but this was like a well-known one. And then I remember when they started building the temple in the garden, and that was the place where they had Thai New Year celebration or Loi Gatung celebrations for Thais living in London. And then they sort of built up, and then they built the temple in the garden. So that's the big Buddhist temple in Wimbledon. That started out as a social thing for Thais living in London.
So did you grow up then with Thai culture, Thai traditions when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Did you go to the temple?
We went to that social thing once a year. We used to go to the Thai temple, yeah. And at home we grew up with a good idea of how my mum would see things as a Thai. We were aware of that.
Was she teaching you Thai as a kid?
Yeah, we understood pretty much what she said. It was funny because we used to go shopping up the road to the high street, and she would joke about people, and only we could understand it. We would laugh. She'd be criticising someone for a joke, and it was like our world, going shopping with our mum, and she would make a joke.
All right, guys. Hopefully the music isn't affecting the audio here, but the show must go on anyway.
Very faint, I think, in the background. Oh yeah, I was talking about my mum. Yeah, and when my mum and dad got married, they had to register their marriage at the British Embassy in Bangkok. They were in Nong Khai. They got married in Khon Kaen, and then they registered at the British Embassy in Bangkok because my dad had to go back to England because my granddad was ill, so my mum was going to go with him. So they registered their marriage at the British Embassy, Bangkok. This would have been 72. She was given a British passport.
Straight away?
Yeah, at the British Embassy.
Wow.
Yeah, just registered their marriage. It was automatic in those days.
And then, so your mum went back to the UK, and then, how old was your mum when she passed away? Apologies for interrupting the video, folks. Got to keep the lights on here. Thairish Times. Got to work with me a little bit for this part. Okay, so what happens if you're traveling abroad and you don't have internet access? Trust me, it happened to me my last trip. It's a pain. So let me share with you a tip to avoid this situation. This video is brought to you by Saily, the eSIM solution from NordVPN. And if you're just new to eSIMs, this is a game changer. Okay, so let me explain to you what an eSIM is. So an eSIM is a digital version of a traditional SIM card, which saves you the hassle of sourcing a local SIM card when you arrive in a country, and it saves you from those crazy roaming charges. So welcome to the future of travel in 2025. Let's see how Saily works. And this is really easy. All you have to do is choose the plan for the country that you're in. So let's say I'm in Thailand. We'll enter that there. We'll bring up the plans. We'll have a look. I mean, there's one for $3. I mean, that's even cheaper than most coffees. I mean, super affordable. And if you purchase the plan through the website, all you need is the Saily app to set it up. Really simple. You can even activate it before you arrive in a country. So as soon as you touch down in Bangkok in Thailand, you're connected, you're ready to go. And the best thing about it is use my code Thairish for a 15% discount. So download the Saily app or head over to saily.com/Thairish. Check them out today. And even if you're not traveling in the near future, keep Saily in mind for the next time you do travel. Stay connected wherever you go. And that's a lot of talking from me. Back to the video.
Same age as my dad, so 39.
39. Well, how did she pass? Was she sick?
She died of cancer. She was having radio. I remember we used to go to hospital to see her. She was having radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and it was the chemotherapy that totally zapped. That's what destroyed her. She was having serious doses of chemotherapy.
What year was this?
83 to 85. And in those days, they didn't have the doses as concentrated, or they're not as much now. Chemotherapy, the strength of the chemotherapy that cancer patients get now is a lot lower than back then, 40 years ago. I remember she got skinny, she lost her hair really quickly. And I remember the day she died, me and my sisters were about to go to school, and my dad phoned us. He'd been at the hospital all night. He told us to come to the hospital and not go to school. And we went to the hospital in Fulham, and we were there for the day. And then about 5 o'clock, they switched off the life support. So what happened was, my dad had probably made this arrangement and said to the hospital that, I want my kids to come and see her final few hours, and they'd agreed to switch off life support, and then so we watched her pass away. So it wasn't. I think it was much less a traumatic experience rather than they phoned us at home. Oh, mum's died. I'd be wondering, and it sounds more scary, but no, we watched her take her last few breaths.
What was the period like, or the following couple of years after your mum passed? How old were you at the time? 10, 11?
11.
11. So you're 11-year-old kids, you're in the UK, you're in London. What was that period like? You were in primary school.
I was in primary school, and I don't know. In the years after that, I felt really alone, but I didn't associate that with my mum dying or anything like that. I just loved to do stuff on my own. And then when I looked back later on, someone said, "Oh yeah, that's because you were suffering." I didn't feel like I was suffering. I just wanted to be alone. But I used to sit alone and think a lot. But I wasn't sad or anything. It wasn't a depression. It was a kind of way of dealing with it, I think. Because my dad was always out working after my mum died. So my older sister used to sort of oversee things.
How did your sister cope?
I think my younger sister.
But you have two sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
My older sister, it hit us all pretty hard. I think my younger sister, she was at an age where, she was going to be, getting into her teens in a few years. My older sister, and they really could have done with a mother figure, I think, definitely.
Did your dad ever remarry?
No, he never did.
Did he get over your mother's death? Or how did it affect him?
He always said to us he's never going to bring another woman into the house. Because I think inside he would have been grieving. And I don't think he got over it properly, really. And he never remarried. he had a few brief girlfriends here and there, but he never committed to any woman after that. So yeah, I think it would have definitely affected him.
And then, so you obviously, or well, did you lose touch with Thailand in those years from 11 to the first time you came?
From about 11 to 18, 19, I didn't really think about I'd ever go into Thailand or associating or even holiday really. It was funny, and then as we were growing up and getting more mature, me and my mates, because I grew up in an area full of other foreign kids, I started to sort of look around and see that they all had different cultures at home. And then I thought, well, you know, I used to. Maybe I should seek it out, you know. So what did I do? I started trying to get into Thai food. And then I took a job at this Thai restaurant that were friends of our families. Then I took a job at this Thai restaurant. They were friends of the family. And so we're into the 90s here, sort of later 90s. Thailand's getting really popular because of the beaches and the famous book, The Beach. So this was a really busy Thai restaurant in North London. And I'm working there as a waiter, talking to all these customers about Thailand because it was full up every night. And these people who were coming into the restaurant were just about to go, or they'll just come back and they'd want to talk to you about it. And they all assumed, because I was half Thai and I was working there, they assumed that I was well experienced with Thailand. So for about a year, I bluffed it and pretended. I joined in the conversations. Oh yeah, Bangkok, yeah, traffic's terrible. Oh yeah, I've been to that beach. Beautiful, blue sea. And that lasted a year. I didn't get caught out, pretending I'd been to Thailand, and I knew it. And then I thought I'd better go. So that became my first time. That was about 99.
You went there for a couple of years.
I went there on loads of holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was a point where you went to live one stint, then you went back to the UK, and then you did another stint, and you're on your obviously second stint now. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a big decision, both times. I think the first time was more of a fun decision, I thought, because I was younger, and I was taking my records and playing music in clubs. So it's more of a fun lifestyle. But as you get into your 30s and you look into, thinking more towards the future, my second time I moved here, I felt I had to be more prepared and do things better.
Was there ever any regret that you didn't choose to live in the UK? But I can see people watching this now going, absolutely not. Why would he want to live in the UK? But was there ever any kind of feeling like, oh, what my life would have been? How would my life have panned out had I had stayed?
Yeah, if I'd have not gone to Thailand and something had happened, I'd had that moment where I get to a crossroads and think, oh, if I go this way, I'll end up living in Thailand. If I go this way, I didn't go and live in Thailand. What would I have done back in the UK? I don't know. I don't regret it. No. Not at all, because I saw a lot of my friends were starting to have kids and settle down, or they had kids and responsibility and a proper job, whereas I didn't. But last time I was in London, I do go and see all my friends on the manor where we grew up, and it's nice. I mean, London now, I haven't been for 6 years. It's probably changed a hell of a lot in that time. People moan about, oh, there's too many immigrants, or it's changed, the crime level's higher. That's what they said when I lived there the first time in Bangkok and went back in 2009. And for me, it didn't seem like it had changed that much because I was going around the area where I grew up, so that was just the same to me. Like people I know now of an old school friend of mine. I looked at his Facebook the other day because he'd been having an argument with another old friend of mine. And he's putting all this anti-immigrant stuff and far-right propaganda on his post in it, and I never thought he would ever have that view. Now everyone can spout stuff on social media and tell everyone their opinions. Like the earthquake last month, suddenly on social media everyone's an expert on structural engineering and geology. I didn't know there was that many people qualified. And when you read comments in social media, on Facebook and in the newspapers, the Bangkok Post, everyone's an expert. Oh yeah, this structure was built like this, and it's like, oh, the building fell down because of this, that, because of this rebar or that. That's social media for you. You know, everyone thinks they know it all.
Well, Pat, we've been filming for well over an hour. I hope we've got some good stuff. I hope the music in the background hasn't disrupted too much of what we've been talking about. But look, man, I wish you all the best.
Nice
It's been a pleasure, and we'll do it again. We can't ask them to turn off the music, so it's one of those things. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Take it easy, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.